G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome to my beginner's guide for character gear progression in Blade & Soul's PvE. This video is part of a paid promotion for Blade & Soul. Check out the description for more details. The gear progression system in Blade & Soul throws quite a bit at you early on, and it can be a little confusing for new players. It has some fairly unique systems, but they are pretty simple when you start to break them down. The first thing to know and get out of the way is that costumes are entirely cosmetic in this game. There are no differences in stats between any of the costumes, so you can run around in whatever outfit you like. You can get outfits from quests, bosses, and the cash shop, and there's no shortage of them. If you like collecting a comprehensive wardrobe of clothing options, then you'll be in heaven. And no matter how you choose to look, your character will perform the same. Unless you choose to go naked, there's actually a penalty for that. The next thing to know is that none of the gear affects the competitive arena PvP modes. This is 1v1 and the 3v3 tag team. When you enter the arena, everyone is balanced out at level 45 stats with no differences between players. You can equip a broken training sword and you'll do just as much damage as someone with an endgame beast weapon. This means arena PvP is based entirely on your skill point build and your own skill and knowledge. PvE and faction PvP is, however, gear dependent. Now let's move on to the most important piece of your gear progression, your weapon. Early on in your questing, you'll receive a Hongmoon weapon for your class. This weapon is unique in that it can actually consume the power of any other weapons you find. It's kind of a bit of a soul eater. You'll find tons of weapons off enemies and bosses, you can even equip many of them. However, you'll always be most powerful if you make sure to stay on top of feeding your soul eater weapon. As you feed your weapon, it'll improve in stats, change effects, and even change its name and looks. Clicking the upgrade button and then your weapon will open the evolution menu. From here you can feed any weapons to your soul eater and it'll grow in power. Once your weapon grows to its maximum power, it will need to be evolved before it can consume the power of any more weapons. Evolution can change the weapon's appearance, change its bonus effects, and increase its stats. To evolve a weapon to the next stage, you'll need two things: a specific type of weapon, usually from a boss, and another ingredient that depends on the level of evolution. For the ingredients, you can mouse over them in the evolution menu and see where they can be obtained. Often this will be from quests, vendors, or dungeons. You can also mouse over the required weapon in the evolution menu to show where you can find it as well. There's a few different ways to get these boss items used in the evolution of your gear. The first way you'll encounter is from field bosses, like the Stalker boss in Everdusk. This type of field boss spawns for everyone in the area to fight, and you'll be rewarded with an essence currency based on your level of participation. Do more damage and you'll get more. You can use these essences to gamble at the nearby Wheel of Fate. From this you have a chance of getting the boss's weapon, boxes of soul shield pieces, and even unique collectible cosmetic items. The other way you'll obtain your evolution items is through dungeons. When you defeat the dungeon boss, you'll receive a locked box containing one of the boss's weapons. Just click the little mail symbol in your quest log to receive it. Oftentimes there will also be a quest associated with killing the boss or running the dungeon, and you'll get an additional locked box as a reward. Opening any of these boss weapon lockboxes will give you a random weapon from its list. So sometimes you'll get it on the first try, and other times you might have to spend some time farming the boss. However, this is not usually a bad thing though, as grinding these dungeons and field bosses for a while will usually net you a bunch of other items you can use to grow your gear, and soul shield set pieces to improve your character's power. 10 to 20 minutes spent grinding the Stalker boss, for example, will usually result in you being pretty overpowered for the next 5 levels or so. Jewelry like your ring, necklace, and earrings work just the same as your weapons as well. You can feed any type of jewelry to any of your existing jewelry and they'll grow in stats and power, and then when you need to evolve them, you'll need to hunt down a specific piece of jewelry from a boss or dungeon. So the next thing I want to talk about is the soul shield pieces. So soul shields are basically powerful pieces of pizza that grant you a bunch of bonus stats. Just like pizza in real life, it's usually better to have the whole pizza all to yourself. This is because they come in sets, and you're granted set bonuses the more you have equipped. There are tons of different types of pizzas you can collect in Blade & Soul, and they all have different stats on them. This allows you to customize how your build will perform in combat. For example, on my Blade Dancer, I'm using a Life Leech gem that requires critical hits to work, so I'm focusing on crit pizzas as much as possible. Building up and equipping your pizzas is not all you can do with them either. It's also possible to mix and match the toppings. Using the Soul Shield fusing feature, you can take one of the stats off one piece of pizza and add it to your current one. Just like adding extra pepperonis to your favorite pizza, it's always going to make it better. In order to add the new toppings, you're going to need some pizza cheese though. Salvaging a slice of pizza has a chance to grant you a pile of fusion powder. Which, I swear guys, it looks just like Parmesan cheese. Honestly, I think the devs wanted me to make this horrible pizza analogy. Most of the time when you salvage, you'll get these useless pizza crusts instead. You can just sell them to vendors, but occasionally you'll get some of that sweet, sweet pizza cheese, and then you're ready to start fusing pizzas. Note that you can only fuse pizzas that are from different sets, and the bonus stat you'll receive is based on the secondary stats of the consumed pizza slice. The pizza, or soul shield system, is pretty fun, and there are tons of ways of collecting them all. You'll find them off random enemies, in dungeons, from bosses, and from quests. There's also this handy pizza menu that allows you to easily manage all of the pieces, and even build 2 different sets that you can swap between freely. The final gear upgrade system that I want to introduce in this beginner's guide is the gem socketing system. Gems allow you to add an extra effect to your attacks, such as life leech on crits, stuns, or just additional damage. You can attain these gems from some bosses, such as the field boss in Croaker Lagoon. Killing Giganura will give you a loot box that will contain a random gem or gem fragments. And that's the other way of obtaining gems as well, gem fragment crafting. Selecting the transmutation button will open the transmutation menu where you can turn gem fragments into a new gem. You can obtain more gem fragments from bosses like Giganura or from salvaging some other gems. Transmuting these gem fragments into new gems costs a little bit of money, and there's a chance of it failing as well, so you may have to give it a few attempts. And then finally, equipping gems is as easy as right-clicking them, and then they can be removed by right-clicking again for a small cost. So that just about covers the basics. Like with most MMOs, there's a whole bunch more stuff to discover and some extra things at endgame, but this should hopefully have given you a solid introduction into the game's PvE gearing system. Keep an eye on my channel for more upcoming Blade and Soul content, including a beginner's guide to the Blade Dancer class. That's it for now, I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.